If you classify marketing or a strategy cases, I just try to bucket it in like 5, 6, or 7 levels. But it's a very open field, right? Like for example, what is marketing? For example, marketing is about problem solving. It is not advertisement, right? Advertisement is a small part of marketing where you make the people aware of your product, etc. Marketing is about problem solving. It is about, for example, I work in HUL. At HUL, we as marketeers solve problems, and every problem is a case. So what is a case? A case is a live problem which a company is dealing with and wants a view of the students who are in MBA colleges to crack them. Okay, they might have a solution, they might not have a solution already to it, but it's a marketing problem. And a marketing problem can be, for example, I am a new brand, I'm entering a market which people don't where people don't know me well. So it's a brand awareness or a okay kind of a case. I am a old brand, but I'm entering a new market. For example, I'm entering global expansion. So it's again a market entry kind of a case. My brand is very known, but I am kind of launching a new brand extension or a new line extension. Basically, a brand line extension is when you are launching a new variant sort of a product in the same category. Okay, like you were right. Like if I in the drinks category or in the beverages category only, I launch a Coca-Cola Black or a Coca-Cola Light. That's a brand line extension. Brand extension is, for example, I am launching a brand variant or a brand product under the same brand in a completely new category. For example, Lifebuoy soaps. Okay, it's a soap cleansing category. If I launch a Lifebuoy hand sanitizer, okay, it's sort of a not a fully but a sort of a brand extension example. Like for example, Red Bull is a drink, right? But if Red Bull enters into Formula One, okay, it's a brand extension. They are the same brand, but they're entering a new category sort of thing. So yeah, let's cut the gyan, but that's a difference. So brand repositioning, brand relaunch, rebranding. For example, a lot of brands, for example, if Nokia wants to re-enter the market, it's a brand repositioning, brand relaunch case, right? Market penetration, for example, Lifebuoy hand sanitizers. Before COVID, the hand sanitizer penetration was 0.1%. Today it is 13%. So I wanted to penetrate the market. I wanted to uh, develop the market in terms of the usage of the entire category of the product itself. Okay. Then there are cases where a brand is struggling with some problems, with some kind of a communication gaps, some kind of communication brand has done in the past. They want to recapture the market share. Okay. They want to reconsolidate their brand. And then finally, almost every marketing case competition will tell you design a 360-degree marketing campaign, design an advertising strategy. So it's something we call as the integrated marketing IMC campaign or communications. That's something which is part of almost every marketing or a strategy case competition there is. So it's about solving the real problems a company is having or a brand manager is having, which can classify into different modes, like I mentioned here. So I'll walk you through a few examples. So this was the presentation we did for Coca-Cola Showcase, which was 2017. Yeah, when I was there, the campus, and we won this. We went to the national finals, and but we eventually lost there. So we came second there. So there are always two stages of a case competition. One stage is where the case study is floated, and you have to submit a 5 slider, a 1 slider, or a 6 slider sort of a stuff for you to get shortlisted into second round. And then the second round comes in when you have when you present in front of judges and you have more ammunition with you, more number of slides, etc., which you can present in more time, etc. Okay, so the first phase where you are told to stick to a few guidelines, etc., is important because that is where the entire shortlisting happens. So now my recommendation is that you have to the presentations you prepare have to be loaded with text or have to be loaded with it's something this kind of a stuff. Now this might go against your ideologies of presentation skills and all that stuff, but you have to understand that uh, whatever space you have to use it, because this is the only thing the folk who is judging your presentation has. Okay, this is basically the art of creating good presentations, which is fundamentally very important. Try to club it with a lot of stuff, but try to make it presentable as well. Like in this slide, there's a lot of text there, but still it is very well fragmented into spaces, right? You can understand what I'm trying to say in terms of uh, what all the content is there. So for example, this case, so the idea, the problem statement of this case was that Minute Maid, which is a Coca-Cola brand, was launching something called as a pulpy Mosambi kind of a flavor, new one, and they wanted to create a effective 360-degree marketing campaign around it. Okay, simple problem statement. Now, first step: whenever you are attempting a case competition, case study, and this is when you're writing stuff, specify the problem statement and the overview of the case in and in one slide. Okay, because this basically tells the person who's judging that yes, you have understood the problem statement well. Okay, for example, if it's a small problem statement, well, just summarize it. Okay, put your understanding of the brand, put your understanding of the core target group, put your understanding of overall category, overall industry, which or overall, for example, if I'm talking about here, I'm talking about drinks, right? Functional drinks, which are not like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. This is a functional drink. This is a fruit drink. Okay, so put that out there in the first slide. Okay, this is something which you would have read in your marketing 101 books. We do a product positioning map. Every case competition you see from me will have a product positioning map, even though this might not be required, but this is signaling to the person that hey, I have understood your product and your brand well in terms of the category relevance, and this is where I'm kind of placing it right now. Okay, so this is how your competitors are being placed. So this gives a very basic good idea of how the product is placed. Second is, in the first one or two slides, you have to basically put a code. What is your target segment you're trying to basically target? Uh, and that's very fundamentally important, because even though if it is stated in the brand case study or not, you deduce it, bring it onto paper, and then state it upfront. Now, in this particular case, because there were other elements to cover, we did not dwell deep into this section, but you can have a full single slide on what does a marketing pen profile look like for that consumer. This consumer is XYZ, and I'll show you in the other examples how we've done that. So this was for example, a summary sort of a slide to start with. Then whatever research we have done, we came up with an insight. Okay, this is the big idea or the big insight which we are trying to play on. We haven't got into the solutioning bit yet. I'm still talking about brand, consumer profile, product positioning, insight. Okay, and I'll follow this pattern everywhere I see. Okay, this is the big insight. I'm not going to go through the specifics of the presentation. And the insight, the rationale behind this insight was because we did this primary research, which is a survey of around 50 respondents. We did this a lot of secondary research. This talks about a lot of papers from a lot of journals, and hence we are arrived at this big insight. Okay, so we are still not under solutioning. We are still under the ideation and the inciting phase. Once I have arrived at the insight, I understand the consumer well, I understand the brand well. This is my big idea. This is my hero. This is my biggest idea which I'm gonna play around with. Okay. So we talked about creating a minute music app. Okay. And the insight was that your taste of what you want to drink relates with your mood of how you, for example, your mood defines what do you want to drink, defines what kind of music you want to listen. Now it's a very complicated triangle, but we related it well with a lot of papers which says that how your mood can influence the way what you want to drink and the way you want to listen music, and we related all this. So again, a very applied concept. uh, this is the big idea. We wanted to develop something on the app. uh, we defined the concept, we defined its relevance for our TG. We went to an, this is my point of execution matters. We went to the extent of creating landing pages for the app of how the app would look like, what are different sections of the app. Okay, this is a 360-degree plan of action. What will we do pre-launch the app, what will we do in the point of launch event, what we'll do post the launch. Okay, again, I bifurcated it into multiple stages. Okay, uh, we defined a marketing campaign. This is my way of telling you You say do things on Facebook, things on Twitter. I am saying you, this is what you have to do. This is the marketing campaign name which we created. We created a hashtag, taste the music. Okay, these are the things. This is the entire conceptualization plan of what you can do in this. Okay, uh, then there is always in terms of a marketing planning, there is online, there is offline leg to it, unless it's specified that we want to go with an online only strategy. Okay, and within that online you have TV, and then you have digital. Okay, that's a bifurcation. When we in HUL put our monies, usually the split is 60-40, for example. Okay, 60 I'm putting the money on TV, which is the commercial which I'm going to create, because still a lot of my HUL brands are very mass reach tier 2 audiences. If I see this is a digital first brand and digital first offering I'm trying to bring, I'll put money on digital, which is a 40% kind of a money. Okay, so within online, TV, digital. Okay, digital includes social, etc., etc., and then an offline one, for example, which I want to do in kiosk, in malls, etc. Now again, practicality has to matter. If you're given a budget which can afford online and offline both, do both. Okay, but you have to be very realistic. So here you can see we even specified what kind of Facebook pages you want to target, etc., etc. Okay, QR codes and all that stuff. uh, I told you, without financials nothing will fly. So we actually did a costing figure of what it takes to develop an app, what would each of the individual elements which we are targeting, how much would it cost. Even though these are very rough figures and these may not be true to the essence, because and while you're in MBA colleges you don't know, right, what it creates to do an app, but still it is telling you that you're thinking on those lines. Okay, so the case study had an allocated budget of around 1 crore. We kind of used around 87 lakhs of it. Okay, in terms of, always use the appendix well, because we were here told you have to do everything in 12 slides. We put the appendix, we put the survey questions. This is very important. If the interview, or sorry, or the judge wants to understand what sort of questions you ask the consumers while you arrive at your big insight, this is very important. Okay, and then we ended up with a team profile of who we are, etc., because this is also important, because at the end of the day they are looking at people who they eventually want to give a PPI, right? And eventually want in their company. So this is also important. Some people put this in the first slide. I don't prefer it, because if you put it in the first slide, it kind of creates a bias towards the mind that this is not a marketing guy. This is, like, for example, when I was doing this, I was a senior software analyst in Accenture and not a marketing guy. So I put it in the end. Okay. Very simple sort of an example of how good work, good structure can help.